Peace, y'all. I want to talk about a small problem being an American, being from a country where we only speak one language. My name is Asè. I'm all about life force rejuvenation and paradigm shifts. Let me tell you about a paradigm shift I had maybe a few years ago. So I thought that, say, my name is Asè. It doesn't matter what country I go in, it's going to be Asè, right? Wrong. Now, those of y'all that actually know what Asè means, you're like, duh, Asè, because some people say Ache. Like in Puerto Rico, they're going to say Ache, right? And then in Africa, they're definitely not even going to spell my name the way my parents spell my name, right? And of course, this is the way it is because it's like naming your son Jesus, right? We might say Jesus over here, but in South America, you might say Jesus. But again, these are problems I've had as an American from a country that only speaks one language. So I'm learning French, right? And I start to realize as I learned that United States is États-Unis and California is now Californie and Japan is now Japonais, right? I'm starting to realize, wait a second, why did I think that this is what the people of the country say this country is, so this is what the world calls it, right? So I'm thinking that we're not saying that Japan is Japan. France is not saying that it's Japonais. I'm thinking that people in Japan have named it Japan, so we're all naming it Japan. And some of my international baddies right now are laughing at me right now. But this is really what my mindset was as an American. As someone, when you only speak one language, you're not thinking that people are calling things titles, names. You learn that a noun is a name and the name doesn't change. And we all know how people get in class when you say their name wrong. So I'm thinking that these countries and stuff, that the name is supposed to stay the same. And that's not how it works when you want to become bilingual, trilingual, poly, whatever. Oh, polyglot. That's what it's called, polyglot. So did you all have this paradigm shift when you were learning new languages? Is this a new paradigm shift for anybody who maybe isn't learning a language? Like, what do you guys think of this? I know that it's completely changed how I react when people get my name wrong. It's cool. It's whatever. There's multiple ways to spell my name. There's multiple ways to say my name. And if you're from a different country, you might say it differently. So what? And then I got a few examples. Y'all can leave, but for the few people who like to vibe with me, I got a few stories. Okay, so this particular story, right, is like I'm at this hotel, right? And at the hotel, right, the lady, the guy has a passport, so I get excited. I'm like, ooh, where's your passport from? And the lady says it's from Saudi Arabia or something like that. I said, Saudi what? She said Saudi Arabia, something like that. I can't even say it the way she said it, y'all. And then finally clicked. I said, oh, Saudi Arabia? She just says yes. And then I say, wait. How did you say that? Because now that I know that there's other ways to say the same thing, and it's not just like a different word, but like there's just different ways that we say names all around the world. Now I'm interested, right? I'm like, wait, say it again. I want to catch it. And like we start having this conversation about how different the accent is and everything. And I start to bond, I start to connect, just with the people I'm talking to. Another time, I realized when I went to St. Martin and I'm meeting my family for the first time on the island and blah, 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 I realized that, I'm thinking, hey, that's Thomas right there. Like, no, that's Thomas. What? I'm like, oh, that's Matthew. Like, no, that's Matthew. Like, the way the names are said is completely different. Even my husband, people will say Jean instead of John, right? Like everybody's named John in France, right? John Philippe, John, Jeanette, like John. But in America, people are thinking it's Jean, Jean. Another time I was at another hotel and this group was from Tahiti, right? And so I said, Uwe too. My French is not that good. I said, Uwe too, like, where are you guys from? Because they weren't speaking English. And I was like, okay, let me try my broken French right now and try to communicate. And so she said, she didn't say Tahiti. She said she said Tahiti, something like that. She said it in a whole different way. And then I'm checking again. It took my brain a little bit to compute. And I was thinking, oh, Tahiti. Like, dang, like, I thought Tahitians spoke English, guys. Like, I'm the type of person, I get culture shocked when people don't speak English. You could be Spanish in California, and I will most definitely get culture shocked that you don't speak English, right? And then my brain is like, oh snap, I have to right now, like I'm in survivor mode. I have to use whatever French, whatever Spanish I have to speak to you, right? And so in survivor mode, I'm like, oh, she meant Tahiti. So then I'm like, Tahiti? Oh, but let me say it the way you said it, right? I'm saying this all to say that as an American, we are taught, and it's not really like we're taught this, but we have a certain arrogance about us where we'll be like, oh, Saudi Arabia, like you meant to say, that's how you meant to say it, or Tahiti, you meant to say Tahiti, right? We have this way of like, well, the name is actually, we start getting into that mode, right? Like, this is the English, this is the correct English way to say it, right? And I just think that it's so cool. It's just been a paradigm shift, and I just thought about it today to share it with you guys, even though, again, my international baddies, this ain't really a paradigm shift for y'all, but just something that I noticed that as an American, I got to take myself out of this highty-tighty, this is English and this is how we speak it, and come down to earth, right? Come back down to grounding myself and being like, yo, how did you say that? Let me try to say it the way you said it. Let me try to remember next time. That way I'm not going through this weird thing, and we're not having this language barrier because we think it's Japan and they know it as Japonais, or we think it's the United States and no, everybody else is saying Estados Unidos or Estados Unidos, right? So very, very cool. Tell me what you think. Tell me a funny story that you've had where you also might have went through this paradigm shift, or you may have had a language barrier and you guys are trying to say the same thing, but the accents and the language just isn't matching up. Let me know, okay? All right, peace, guys.